Hey everybody, welcome to Wings on Katella. We are Wings on Katella. We cover Orange County sports, i.e. the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Angels. We cover them for the Sporting Tribune. Today we're going to be talking about some Ducks prospects, how the new CBA affects their upcoming season. We're going to have some quick hits on Ducks news and not news and Mason McTavish updates because that's what we do when it comes to Anaheim Ducks. Also, we're going to talk some Angels. They're finally utilizing some of their youth talent, finding success at the big league level, as well as making some mistakes in the process of doing so. For that, we're going to go to our cast, our regular roundtable of TST writers, the dudes, the guys, the ones that are. We're going to start. We're going to start to my left to right, like I usually do, even though that's never how it goes. So I'm looking at Jack James, who does not have a mannequin and is not or never has been something corporate. Jack James, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Enjoying the frigid temperatures of Phoenix right now. We're looking at a week of sub 100 degrees, so although it is pretty humid today, so it kind of felt gross walking back from the gym, but, you know, it's not 100, so I'll take it.
Jack, did you understand Taylor's reference?
I was one. I saw Zach see it. Thomas
not.
is like in another world right now. But Jack, did you get it?
No, I was like the gears were turning in my head, and I couldn't get it.
Just leave it. Just leave it. Let it be.
There's a pop punk band called Jack's Mannequin
that used to be something corporate.
Yeah.
So
I've heard Jack's Mannequin. Now that I think of that, let me do some research on that while you guys talk.
It's a great band, man. We're going to switch gears, go to Mr. Suavemente, no boss, no stress, no dress codes, Mr. Thomas Murray. Oh, you guys can follow Jack James on social media at JackJames_. You can follow Thomas Murray at Thomas_L_Murray. Tommy Lee Murray, no shoes, no shirts, no problems. What's going on with you, man? He's muted. You're muted, dude. You hit the wrong button. Oh, no. We lost Thomas. Oh, no. No, you're still there. You look good.
We see you.
Yeah, you look great. You just don't. This is the best version of Thomas we can get.
We heard
he's still getting over the Eagles win last night.
I saw the Eagles lose. That's a different thing, though.
Oh yeah.
Anything, Thomas? Anything?
Well, we wait for Thomas. Jack's Mannequin's from Orange County.
They are. Yeah. Aaron. It's not Jack. Who's the lead man? Aaron.
There's Andrew McMahon, Bobby Raw Anderson, Jay McMillan, Mikey the Kid Wagner.
Man, that's the thing. Thomas is going to come on and be like, "Oh, I watched the Eagles. The Eagles are so good. I love the Philadelphia Eagles." I'm so glad he's gone because of that. No. Love Thomas. We're going to get Thomas back somehow, some way.
Taylor.
What's that?
You were so mean to your subordinates.
Well, I told Thomas that today is the day I'm going to go after him. So let's see. He should be back now. Thomas, are you there? He's loading. We still lose him? This is a great
Tommy
introduction.
Lee Murray loading.
On that note, we're going to switch gears real quick to the 6'2 Dream. Heaven sent. Says what he means what he says. He's funny, he's smart, and he's good in certain contexts. Zachcav, what's up, man?
I don't understand any of what you just said, but...
You didn't understand that reference?
No, not at all.
Oh,
but I'm happy to be here. You know,
That's a reference you're going to have to jump on. So, Tommy Lee Murray, we got you yet?
Yeah, I think. Can you guys hear me?
There
we go. I don't know what happened.
All right.
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, no. Technically, you're the editor and producer and you direct this show, man.
Yeah, I do. That's great.
But you look good.
I appreciate it.
You look good. That's what really matters. So, what's going on, Tommy Lee Murray? You guys can follow Zach Kavanaugh on socials at Zachcav, ZACHCAV. Tommy Lee Murray, what's going on, Mr. Suavemente?
What's going on, man? I'm going to be honest with you. Jack's Mannequin sounds familiar, but I'm going to have to look up what are the hits. And then...
Dark Blue, Bruised, Miss Delaney.
Ooh,
you've heard something corporate though, right, Thomas? Like that's
something corporate.
Dark Blue. I'm pretty sure I know that song. Yeah, something corporate too. That sounds. Yeah. Okay. That's like back to the MySpace days, man.
Oh man.
Sure.
Yikes. It only took us 5 minutes to go off the rails. let's
get back on the
defensive line.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
I was
going to
talk algorithms. I was going to talk all kinds of things.
No.
I do want to give a quick Norco update from the Norco Rodeo, Norco Fair. You know how I said that it's the only place in the world that horses have turn signals?
Mm-hmm.
I was joking about that until I saw a horse on the side and a guy riding it. His belt buckle had turn signals.
No,
Nice.
yeah, I think they do.
It was awesome. I loved it. So that's part of it. Let's talk Anaheim Ducks. We went from a lot of nothing a week ago to a lot of something this week. And we're just going to watch Zach Kavanaugh cook real quick. Zach, Beckett Seneca was at the 2025 Upper Deck Rookie Showcase. Hot topic prospect among other kids as well because of the new collective bargaining agreement, the CBA. Just going to let you cook, man. Take us through what's going on,
Sure.
not only with Beckett Seneca, but also the new CBA and how it affects the Angels a little bit. The other one across Katella, the other wings on Katella.
We are in the dog days of summer, man.
It's so bad.
It's
hockey season, baby.
It's the first week of September. We're a week away from seeing kids on the ice. We got some updates, like clerical things happening this week with the CBA, where the new CBA is not set to go into full effect until next September. But for reasons that I can't seem to ascertain, and even Elliot Freeman was said on his podcast today, the teams are getting surprised by some of the things that the NHL just announces. They're like, yeah, we're going to do this now. It's like, yeah, we agreed to this, but we didn't know it was going to be now. But so they moved up a few things in the provision to start this season, namely things like LTIR salary retention, playoff salary cap, LTIR stuff that has to deal with, teams in the playoffs. And another thing that was at least in the memorandum of understanding was moving up the date for 19-year-olds to be loaned to the AHL. And that was what was initially reported by Puckpedia, who's usually first on these kind of technical salary cap, CBA contract things. And that was quickly not refuted, but sort of clarified by them, and then further on by Pierre LeBrun of TSN, that this is something that the NHL is pushing for, to move this up to this year, but all of that is contingent on the current agreement that they have with the Canadian Junior Leagues, the CHL, because the CHL and the NHL have had this agreement for a very long time of a way to protect the CHL from losing all of its star players, which now with the NCAA deal open, they're starting to lose some of those kids anyway, and they want to make sure that these kids aren't siphoned away to the NHL, some of them. Because the rule is you can't play in the AHL until you're 19, as a general rule, and you also can't. But then additionally, if you are a CHL player, you cannot go to the AHL unless you are 20 years old or have played 4 full junior seasons in the CHL. Beckett Seneca is entering his 4th season. He is currently 19, so he doesn't meet either of the requirements to be sent to the AHL this year. So there was some very momentary anticipation of, hey, if this thing gets moved up, now Beckett Seneca's because Beckett Seneca is going to be competing for a spot on the roster in training camp. And at the very least, I and most people expect him to start the season getting that 9-game tryout, because, as the rules as they are now, you can play up to 9 games in the NHL, but if you play a 10th game, you lose your first year off your entry-level contract. So he can either stay with the big club all season or get sent back to juniors after 9 games. It has happened before. It could happen again here. But the idea of, hey, if we can just put him in the AHL, that would be best for everyone, because he's too good for juniors, borderline NHL player at this point. So what do you do? And the fact that that's been rolled back a bit, and it sounds like the way the Pierre LeBrun phrased it was that these negotiations are going to last through the season in terms of opening the agreement, which doesn't expire until next summer anyway. All things considered, it was possible for like 30 minutes that Beckett Seneca could have been a San Diego Gull this fall, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen, which is a little unfortunate, I think, for everybody involved, except for his junior team, the Oshawa Generals. So we'll see what happens. He'll be at the rookie camp next week, and like I said, I fully anticipate him to be part of the training camp, and should be there at least for the first couple weeks of October, I would assume.
Guys, any thoughts on this? We took in an insane amount of information, and Zach, thank you for doing that.
It was
every time
all of this stuff came out within like an hour the other day.
Yeah,
it was just like little drip, little drip, little drip. So it's taken me like a week to get my hands around it myself.
No, and you did a good job. You limited it to like 4 minutes of explaining it in the easiest context. Like you said, it's taking you a week to read this thing, and when a new CBA comes out, these are impossible to go over full time. By the time the next CBA is out, you're just figuring out the recent CBA. So, Thomas, Jack, open floor. Anything that came out with this CBA that you guys noticed that the Zach maybe didn't hit on? I got nothing.
I mean, it doesn't really involve the Ducks right now, but I think the salary cap in the playoffs is going to be interesting to see. And obviously the retention slots that are reduced. It's going to make the trade deadline very... on one hand, I'm speaking, out of both sides of my mouth when I say boring and interesting at the same time. Like, it's boring in the sense there's not going to be as many trades, probably. But it'll be interesting to see what type of trades teams make and how they can get creative. Because, if you listen to the most recent 32 Thoughts podcast, Friedman always talks about teams will find loopholes. And that's going to be an interesting thing to look forward to is at trade deadlines, what teams are going to get smart and get creative and try to find loopholes in this system to cause, headaches and more discussion on why they need to change the next CBA. So those were the two things that kind of stood out to me.
Thomas?
Yeah, just bouncing a little off what Jack said. I think you're really going to start to see GMs kind of show their magic a little more in this, like he was saying, just getting more creative on trades and stuff like that. And, I think if you're looking at the Ducks in the future, maybe, I don't know if there's maybe a little bit of concern of when they actually do start to contend, if they're going to actually be, if they're, Pat Verbeek is able to pull off any good trades just through this whole process, because he's already just been kind of questionable in the past. So a little bit of my two thoughts on it.
And just to back off of what Jack was saying, to explain it a little more, with the LTIR this year, the thing that will affect a team like the Ducks is, so before teams could retain salary in trades all the time, right? And that was pretty commonplace, especially for teams that were rebuilding and had plenty of cap space like the Ducks do now. Now you cannot retain salaries. Like, once you retain one salary in a trade, you cannot do it again for another 75 days. So what in a scenario like with what the Ducks roster is right now, let's say for whatever reason, the first 3 months of the season go in the tank. They're somehow absolutely awful. Everyone's injured. What do you do? Well, if you say, okay, well, let's try to get something for Radko Gudas and Jacob Trouba, and you want to trade those guys, you can trade, and they have a significant amount of salary. Teams don't want to take them on full freight. Okay. So you trade Radko Gudas on January 1st, and you retain $4 million of salary or whatever it is. If you wanted to trade Jacob Trouba and a team says, well, you got to retain salary, you couldn't do that again for another 2.5 months. So they wouldn't be able to do it until March, like maybe right around the trade deadline, if that. So I don't know what 75 days from the trade deadline is, but I think you might, and Elliot sort of referred to this in his podcast, you might get some earlier moves being made if you're a team that needs to retain salary, or you're going to be tanking like the Pittsburgh Penguins this year, for example. So there might be like a sort of a mini trade deadline, maybe in like December, of like, if you want to get somebody and have the other team retain, they might have to do it earlier than, the March trade deadline, which will make it interesting and a little frustrating, and maybe just kill whatever was left of TSN's Trade Center coverage. Because if you're going to be making these moves and guys can't retain salary, then you're kind of, it limits your options significantly. So be interesting to see how that plays out.
Two thoughts just kind of came in, and Jack, let me know if I'm off cue on this. This, in a sense, secondary trade deadline, is it a version of what was baseball's waiver trade deadline, but in in reverse to a degree. And Jack, I'm going to you because I think you might understand it, and then I have another thought that just kind of jumped in there.
I guess you can, in a way. I haven't thought about it like that, but I guess in a way, yeah, it kind of makes sense. With the baseball's old waiver deadline thing. There might be some extra moves. I don't know how high profile of moves are going to be made. I know in baseball there was a few. I'm trying to think of what the other wasn't. Just Verlander.
Verlander's the one that there's a
Yeah.
few, but Verlander's a big one.
I think that's how the Angels got Justin Upton too.
Mark
20.
Teixeira maybe. No, they did get the Upton. Yeah, the Upton one.
Yeah, Upton and Brandon Phillips, I think.
Yeah,
were part of that waiver deadline.
Daniel Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a potential to see some moves like that are of significant names, but other than that, I don't think you're going to see needle moving trades happening.
It's because it's in reverse order too. It's not something that happens after the trade deadline. It's something. Yeah, it's a weird. Second, this is literally a thought. It's not in the script anywhere, guys. Gary Bettman was very heavily disliked for the first period of his commissionership. Looking at his last decade, Gary Bettman in particular, looking at his last decade, I feel like I still can't stand Roger Goodell. I think he's a murder by association kind of thing. I'm not even going to get into Bob because talk about stupid. Baseball's in ruins. And what's is it not David Stearns? Who's Silver? Adam Silver. I think Adam Silver's done great. I got to give Adam Silver his due credit, but perception on Gary Bettman, I think he's swayed the ship, and I think he's been doing it for a long time, but I think from the guy that was the most hated that went into this lockout, and the lockout's always going to be on his resume, right? It's always going to be there. But I think Gary Bettman's actually done great things for the NHL, for both the players and the owners. I don't know, maybe I'm a little crazy on that, but I think Gary Bettman has actually done a really good job of doing his job outside of a crappy little couple years there.
Yeah, and I feel like it's mostly came within the last 5 years where his perceptions really started to flip. I mean, I feel like the discourse around him the world in general, but the NHL got through the COVID pandemic, I felt like the sentiment around Gary Bettman has turned like a complete 180. Oh, and I would say complete, but it's turned on him to make him look like a way better commissioner than, people, 15, 20 years ago might have felt.
Yeah. As you said, I think it's a combination of two things. One, obviously he was very hated for the lockouts, but now we were talking about a new CBA that was negotiated over a year in advance. Like, there is unprecedented labor peace in the NHL right now, and the multiple TV contracts, and the league is making money, and the salary cap is going up, and they're expanding the game. Like, for all we want to detract about, over expansion, because I do think there's a little bit of that, Vegas is an unmitigated success. Seattle is finding its way, but it's better. He got out of the Coyotes situation finally, and now they're in a Utah market that seems to be working out fine. And even still, they're even looking at more expansion, which I don't think they should do quite yet or ever. I think 32 is a good even number of teams to work with. But for all the hate he got from taking this traditional Northeastern sport and expanding it into the Sun Belt and forcing in these multiple lockouts, including the full season, he's making the league money, and they've got a relatively calm labor situation now. So it's all starting to come up Gary, which is kind of interesting compared to, before Manfred came around, before Goodell, he was easily the most hated GM or commissioner out of the four major sports from the fans of those sports. So, and
that's even during Goodell's start, which Goodell came in as a puppet, but still, just like I said, he's murder by association, right? But Bud Selig was not. Bud Selig did great things for baseball. But he had the same legacy. He had the steroid era. He had a lockout or a strike happen. And Thomas, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to your thoughts here. But you mentioned two things, Zach. easy transition with the CBA. It came out of nowhere. CBA is just done, right? And how many times does a collective bargaining agreement just, okay, cake, it's a Tuesday afternoon, here's the news, CBA is out. Like, that's amazing. And like you said, I remember talking to a lot of people about the Vegas thing, the Golden Knights. I'm like, how are people going to go to 41 games in the wintertime in Vegas for hockey? Like, that's just silly. Like, why would you put you could put a football team there. 6 or 8 Sundays a year, perfect. It's perfect for Vegas. But to put 41 home games, like, the baseball thing is not going to work. Baseball is not meant for Vegas in the summer. But either way.
Hey, they finally started putting walls up for that stadium.
It's just so stupid. But either way.
They moved dirt.
I have been, if you go to Las Vegas or just Nevada in general, every other license plate has a Golden Knights logo on it. They love the Golden Knights. So, hey, props to them. You mentioned the two things. I think Seattle's a growing market. Seattle's always been a rough sports market. It's teeter-totter. And then Salt Lake, obviously, outside of ticket prices, it's going well. So, Thomas, sorry for jumping in there.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, here's the thing. Like you said, too, Seattle's pretty good, not too bad, showing that they can support a team. Whereas the NBA, they struggled holding the Sonics years ago, and unfortunately they had to move to Oklahoma because they just couldn't get people in the bleachers. Also, adding on that, I think Utah was a brilliant move too, just because Utah's always been a dedicated fan base to their sports teams. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever been to a Bees game, but those games sell out. There's like a great crowd environment at those games. Utah Jazz is the same thing. Go to BYU football, go to Utah football, University of Utah. So, it's a good market to tap into, and I think they're hitting the money on that. It's unfortunate to see what happened in Phoenix, and, I would, just for their own fan base, I would like to see those, people get their team back, but I understand that's a lot more to it. And I just want to mention one more thing too. He pretty much nailed it right on the money too earlier this year for the Four Nations Faceoff. And now you're looking at the NBA, who Adam Silver, like you said, Taylor, I agree with you. I think Adam Silver is the best commissioner in sports, but the poster boy for commissioners is looking at that now, and even he's kind of contemplating doing something similar like that to save the NBA's All-Star game, which at one point was one of the best All-Star games in sports, and now it's a complete joke. So, just seeing how he's, I would say, really saved the All-Star game and what that did for the NHL this year and how it grew its popularity, and now you have other leagues actually taking notice. Like, you do got to give him his flowers for sure.
Giving people flowers. I'm just going to go back to the Four Nations thing. Obviously, the World Baseball Classic was a hit, a success, and everything like that. That was just something that was brought back from the Bud Selig era. So don't give undue credit to undue people. You can't fix stupid, but you can also use old ideas to fix it to some degree. So go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
It was just going to be super quick. I mean, going back again to like the CBA stuff, like you said, the CBA is, oh yeah, Tuesday, here we go. Like, just release it, no big deal. And you look at baseball and their CBA is up in 2027, and everyone's like, this is going to get ugly. Expect, time missed. Expect the season to be delayed. This is going to be bad. And it just can't be any more different from baseball to hockey.
Do you listen to the Trevor May podcast at all? I think it's called Maycast.
No, but I listen to Rates and Barrels where he's a regular, like every Wednesday.
Go listen to his, if you want to talk about the 2027 potential lockout and strike, and particularly salary cap, among other things. I know we're our own podcast, but I am Trevor May is great when it comes to this stuff. So if you guys get a chance, go look back at Trevor May, pitcher for the Mets, Twins, Athletics, etc. So, let's move on. Get back on Duck stuff. Zach, you mentioned that Beckett Seneca would be at the Rookie Faceoff, which is coming up this upcoming week here, or week away, weekish, whatever it is. You will be there. Sabrina McLean will be there as well. Who are you guys looking forward to seeing here? I have the order. It's on the script. I even put an order there. So, Thomas, what Ducks prospect are you looking forward to seeing during the Rookie Faceoff?
I mean, the obvious Ducks prospect is Beckett, of course. I can give you a prospect who isn't on the Ducks that I'm looking forward to seeing. And
I'm up for that.
I can tell you that people in this podcast might not like it just because I got some slack for it last week when I said Teal for the Ducks. But of course, you got to go with Macklin Celebrini. I mean, who isn't excited to see him first number one
Future
pick?
Vancouver Canuck.
So yeah, that's who I'm excited to see. Though I'm excited to see Macklin. It'll be a lot of fun to check that out.
Well, I mean, Macklin won't be playing in it, but that's
Well, then I was lied to wherever I read it at.
But I mean, Beckett's like you said, Beckett's the obvious one. Jack, what prospects are you looking forward to seeing here? I didn't tell you to have a different one than everyone else. I forgot to tell you that. So.
I kind of figured no one was going to pick this guy just because I got to be honest. I don't know why I am so interested in Ian Moore, but he interests me. I got to see him play at a couple development camps, and again, it's development camp. You can't really have any true takeaways from development camp. But one thing I've noticed that kind of tracks at the limited amount of games that I've seen from him, he's just very responsible. He's not flashy. He's not going to make the big plays, but he doesn't do anything wrong. He's just kind of like, you can say he's boring and all that, but like in a good way. If you don't notice a defenseman the whole game, it's probably a good thing. And that's kind of what Ian Moore's game is. And also, it's going to be interesting to see how he does this year, because you have on the right, he's a right shot defenseman. He's 6'3", 195. So obviously that's for Beak prototype built. But you look at the Ducks' right side situation for the next year. Gudis and Trouba are coming off contracts. They're going to be UFAs next year. Gudis is, getting up there in age, and he's dealing with knee problems apparently. So it's uncertain his future in Anaheim. Jacob Trouba, I'm not sure if the Ducks are planning on extending him or having him walk in free agency. And so that leaves two holes presumably. And Ian Moore is going to be an RFA after next year. So he has a chance this year to kind of build his stock up and make the Ducks really think about him as a possibility for maybe a sixth defenseman or seventh defenseman on the NHL roster for the next year after that. So I'm interested to see him.
Yeah, I that was actually going to be my guy. I love Ian. He's going to be the best player born in Utah, not named Trevor Lewis, for a long time. So I like Ian Moore, man. Big Ian Moore. Zach, who are you looking forward to seeing next week? You're going to see him. You're going to see him from a short distance.
I will be in their face. Yeah. So just to hit on a couple things. So for we'll give you a couple from the other teams too. For the Sharks, they're going to have their second overall pick from this draft. Michael Misa will be there. That's an exciting player for them. The Kings roster it leaves a little to be desired in terms of like spark, but Liam Greentree is a guy that's in their system that would be exciting to see. On the Ducks end of things, of course we want to see Beckett. Of course we want to see Steen. Of course I'm kind of interested to see Ian Moore and Tim Washy, guys that made their NHL debuts. All four of those guys that are going to be at the main camp, and they will be certain to get their looks. The guy that I'm going to go a little off radar for those, and if you follow the San Diego Gulls, you know the name pretty well, is Igor Sidorov, who has so much talent in that stick, man. He is so slick with his moves and his shot, and I think he's been in the system for a while now, and the Ducks do need more legitimate scoring depth to come up from the lower ranks, and I think if there's a time for him to start making an impact in that way, it's now. So I think while the rookie face-off may not be the place to be like, hey, he's ready to play for the NHL team right now, if he can have a good couple games and make a big impact, get some pucks in the net, maybe that opens your eyes going into training camp, and then, at least get him on that bubble of first call up when somebody goes down to bring a bit more skill, bring a bit of scoring punch to the lineup. So I think this is going to be a big September for Igor Sidorov in terms of his future in cracking this Ducks pipeline in a major way.
And I think we mentioned it before, or I mentioned it, is you want your San Diego first line to be better than everyone else's NHL fourth line, right? The AHL, so having someone like Sidorov is vital. It's important. Having that guy that can bridge. We're going to use that term "bridge" a little later, but bridge the gap between the leagues. Right. That's an important thing to have. So for me, I was going to go with Ian because I think Ian's a big part of this, but I'm going to go with the Smith boys, Taryn and Connor Smith. We did a prospect highlight article at the Sporting Tribune. Austin Gibbons took care of that, and I kind of led the front on Taryn Smith, and I just love the kid. Offense first defenseman, left-hand shot, put up 60 points last year in the WHL. Stayed out of the penalty box pretty well. Just played well in the WHL playoffs as well. 16 points, 13 games. Connor Smith, if you're unfamiliar, go watch. He's got a few fun little fisticuff videos. 6'6" kid. He beat the snot out of some king.
He is large.
He beat
huge.
I mean, like Curtis McDermott, kind of big. And reminds me a lot of Curtis. But I think he's got a little bit. I don't want to say this about Curtis because I really like Curtis as a guy and as a person, but I think he's got a better head on him than McDermott by a sense. But who did he? He beat the living snot out of some Kings guy last year, preseason. It might have been the rookie faceoff, but either way, the Smith boys definitely high on my list. I want to go. I mean, they're not related, but Taryn was a 3rd round pick 2 years ago, and Connor was a 4th round pick, I think. But yeah, big on both of those guys. No idea what their future NHL value is going to be. Connor, obviously being a 6'6" defenseman, is going to be something to keep an eye on. But 2 guys I am definitely jumping in on. Any last thoughts at all, guys? Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just overall, I'm excited for the rookie face-off because, I mean, Jack was there with me at Dev Camp, and you can see them that yes, they can lace up their skates and do a lap. But I'm very excited to see all of these guys that we've mentioned in competitive settings. And, you know, it maybe not as important for Beckett or Steen to make an impact at the rookie face-off because they have bigger goals in mind, but to see them just turn it on a little bit and see how they can impact the flow of the game with their size, their skill, their physicality, and just really see if, like, okay, here's the group of all the best prospects of these California teams. Who's going to stand out and be like, okay, you are better than the rest of this group and you are probably ready to make a jump forward. And you can only tell so much in a drill. The games will be so much more impactful for a lot of people's viewing of them. And the fun thing is, too, for anybody that's watching or listening to this, you know, you can be there. It's a $15 ticket. It's in Irvine at the Great Park. But all the games will be free on Victory Plus, and they won't be region locked either. So if you're a Ducks fan in Texas, in Utah, in Wyoming, whatever.
Phoenix, Arizona.
In Phoenix, Arizona, you can watch everything on the Victory Plus, and you can get a better sense of who these guys are without, you know, please, of course, listen to our coverage here and read our stories on the Sporting Tribune when they come out, but you can see with your own eyes what these kids are and what the future looks like.
And you mentioned something, Zach, is you're getting the group of Southern California, the best prospects for each team, right? And the group that it is. You know, the Kings coming off a Stanley Cup victory in 2012. I think it was 12 or 14.
I don't recall those happening, but sure.
Okay, well, either way, the Kings won a Stanley Cup not that long ago, a little over a decade ago. Jack, decade, 10 years, roughly.
That's like my whole life, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, either way. I mean, well, it was noted the Kings have the best farm system in hockey, and this is for like multiple years. It didn't produce what was anticipated. So seeing the prospects and seeing them try to produce, that's where it's going to be fun. And like you said, Zach, the games are where it's going to be, where it matters. And obviously, you know, San Diego, Ontario, Henderson, you know, the AHL affiliates are going to say a little bit about that to a degree, but you also have some 30-year-old guys that got their quick little stint. AAA hockey is a little different than other places, so
the AHL is a messy league.
It is. It is
not the cleanest sport in the world down there, but it's
love
fun,
it.
For sure.
You mean you don't like the ECHL?
The E is you know,
it's not for East Coast.
It's hockey.
I love the ECHL, man. I think I could go play in the ECHL. I could get a game.
I got you, Zach.
I could get one game.
This E is for evil.
Wow.
Well, it's one of these leagues where it did used to mean East Coast Hockey League.
Did it?
And now because they had The
Did-
freaking Long Beach Ice Dogs played in the ECHL.
Yep.
Ontario
Long Beach
Reign.
Ice Dogs, baby.
The Alaska team, was in
Bakersfield
there.
Condors.
So they just said ECHL means ECHL. That's all it means. There is no designation.
Yeah,
to
it's
the letters, which I
it's
think
like
is pretty
Berkeley and Stanford in the ACC.
fun. Sure.
I can skate and I can fight, so I think I might be able to make an appearance. Speaking of guys that can skate and can fight and not do a whole lot else, anything on the Rodwin Dionisio release?
I mean,
Anything to it?
not really, because the only things that you can pry out of this, at least in terms of an official capacity, last season, Rodwin Dionisio, a highly regarded defensive talent, he had 3 different suspensions last year, including one in January, which relevantly he spit during an altercation, supposedly.
Why would you bring that up?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Thomas might have some insight on that.
People that spit. That's crazy, man. Never seen that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Never seen
Why
that
would anyone do
before.
that? Yeah. And allegedly at or towards an official during this altercation that happened on the ice. So that resulted in a 3-game suspension. So that the day after that suspension was announced, it was announced that he was being reassigned to the ECHL to Tulsa. And then the day after that, it was announced that he was actually going to be loaned back to his native country of Switzerland and play for a team in the Swiss League. It was sort of anticipated that because of his skill set that maybe the teams would still find some sort of resolution and be like, hey man, go home, get your head cleared, get your head on straight and come back and be ready to contribute to this franchise. And instead the Ducks opted for a outright release to terminate his contract. He passed through waivers with no problem. And I haven't seen that there's any official announcement of his termination, but I don't think that there will be. The Ducks said so, that they're putting him on waivers for the purpose of mutual termination. So I assume the paperwork has been filed. You can look online to Gulls fans or some of these Gulls sites that cover them and their fan sites and whatnot that are a little bit more on the ground than any of us can be. And they've mentioned a lot of, anecdotally some off ice, on ice attitude issues. So whether that holds true, I mean, you can just see in the suspensions that obviously there might be a little something to that, but I don't know the specifics. I don't want to say, anything that's out of school here. But clearly there was something that needed to get figured out. He couldn't figure it out, and he's no longer with the Ducks organization, and that's sort of the long and the short of it. And I'm see if he latches on with somebody else and try to get some reclamation of it, or if he just sticks to being a European League player where you can, if you're a good enough player, you can make a lot of money and live a healthy life, back in a more comfortable setting. So we'll see what happens for Rodwin going forward.
Gotcha. Sorry, I'm taking care of credential stuff as we sit. So, Mason McTavish update. Jack, sorry, Mason McTavish update.
Sorta, yeah. On the 32 Thoughts this morning, this is Friday, September 5th. On 32 Thoughts this morning, Elliot Friedman talked about that the Ducks don't seem interested in bridging McTavish. They want a longer-term deal, which is interesting because that just doesn't really go with the pattern that we've seen Pat Verbeek operate with other RFAs. So that's pretty much the basis of the update. He didn't really give any other specifics other than that. So now it's just a question of what's the holdup. It's got to be money issue now, where Verbeek is looking at a lower number than McTavish's camp's looking at, I'm assuming. So that's pretty much all the update we have. I don't know if Zach, if you have anything else to add.
No, I mean that's basically it. I mean, Elliot said that he assumes that means it's a longer term, that they're looking longer term, whether that's 6, 7, or 8. He doesn't know. He also said that when you're projecting long term, obviously the numbers are a little harder to swallow for Verbeek, or one way or the other, whether it's too low or too high for McTavish. And he mentioned that basically a lot of this is I think, so nothing concrete being reported here, but the idea that people look at the Ducks and say, oh, they have so much salary cap. And then you look at, all the guys, we've talked about it before, Leo, Cutter, Jackson Lacombe, Minchikov, Zellweger, all up next season. And so all of a sudden, you know that you're going into this situation where you're gonna have all these guys. You need to set a precedent in one way of how you're going to negotiate these contracts, and two, you need to make sure that you do have a lot of salary cap room right now. What happens if all these guys pan out to who they're supposed to be, and all of a sudden they're all very expensive, and you go longer? So I think he was saying that in terms of why a longer term deal instead of a bridge, and that kind of makes sense because if you get the longer term deal, you can lock them in at a lower cap hit for a longer period of time. So I understand that bit of it, but like Jack said, that is out of the norm for what the last few Pat Verbeek negotiations have been like. So that was a very interesting tidbit from Elliot today. Elliot also reiterated that the Ducks do not want to trade the player; they want to keep him. I think everybody is in alignment that they want to be in Anaheim. Now it is just a matter of for how much and how that goes. So I have a distinct feeling that we will know within the next 2 weeks, because obviously the guys are starting to come back into town. They had some community events over the weekend or during the week where certain guys were around for like building a park. I think it was Colangelo and Hellison and Ryan Paling. Joel Quenneville was out there. I actually saw Jay Woodcroft at Chipotle yesterday, as we talked about in our text. So we'll see. The deadline's coming up. Training camp is going to get going in 2 weeks. So I assume Mason will be in town and skating, and hopefully it will be with the full team at a practice and not by himself on rented ice. So we'll see.
On a contract. Like you said, puck drop for the rookie faceoff is going to be in the exact moment that Mason McTavish signs.
Yep.
Let's start working our way off of hockey into baseball. You mentioned something. Oh, you bumped into Jay at Chipotle. So
assistant coach Jay Woodcroft.
Any last thoughts on the Anaheim Ducks before I ask all of you a really stupid question, a pair of stupid questions, because that's just what I'm here for. That's it.
I'm just gonna say it sounds like Zach is one step closer to the one-on-one with Jay Woodcroft.
Oh, what? I mean, like I said in the text thread, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to apply for a season credential or for a restraining order. I'm not sure which one we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you his Chipotle order, but I feel like that was off the record.
That might be a little extreme. Yeah, that one's a little extreme.
Yeah.
Tom, any last Ducks thoughts before we get into stupid crap?
No, not really. Just excited that hockey will be back, though. Definitely happy for that. That'll be a lot of fun. And I think the Ducks are going to be a really exciting team this year and just a lot of fun to cover this season.
I was told
it'll be great for the podcast.
I was told it was too soon to give season prediction stuff, so we're going to hold off on that stuff.
Maybe wait till first game of the season that week.
Sure. All right, Kraken came out with a third jersey. Zach had an opinion that he shared on social media. We're going to mute him for a quick second. Jack, Thomas, what do you guys think of the Kraken's third sweater?
Okay. I mean, I don't have strong feelings about them. I don't think they're great. I don't think they're bad. I just think they're all right. That's pretty much it.
I really liked it, actually. But I like the Kraken's jerseys a lot, so I don't know if I'm just being a loyal appreciation guy right now or what.
I like their original jerseys, too. I like their original jerseys better than the third jerseys. I think what would have been cool is a third jersey with, now, forgive me, I'm colorblind. Is it teal, the lighter color, the lighter blue that they have?
It's light
like
blue.
aqua.
There's some red in there.
I think the third jersey with like that lighter blue being the primary color, I think that would look pretty cool.
I do want to Google what it is. I'm gonna call it aqua, but yes, it's a.
I think they have like an official team brand. It's like Deep Pacific. Whatever. Emerald
blue.
Bay blue.
Boundless blue.
Sure.
That's the dark blue. I'm gonna go with aqua-ish.
Yeah, it's
opal.
It's a greenish blue, not quite teal, but
it's
Zach,
all gray.
I think it's great.
You seem to have some opinions on the third jersey.
Yeah. I just think that teams that don't have black in their color schemes, that make black alternate uniforms, is a devoid creative choice. We do it. Oh, it's intimidating. Oh, it's cool. No, you do it because it's going to sell jerseys. Like, we're not stupid.
You don't
have to
like
give me this.
You don't like the Vancouver Canucks black jersey with the neon green logo and number outline? Come
No.
on, man.
No,
They're awful.
no, absolutely. Like, and not to mention, like, they've added in the it glows in the dark because it's powered by bioluminescence. Like, no, it's not, and I don't care.
So let me ask you a question.
Like, again, especially like the we said the other.
Do they
things
play
are
in
so
the dark?
good.
Yes. Only for a quick second.
Did you like the black duck jerseys from like almost like 6 years ago or something?
But that wasn't like a just strictly black though.
Yeah, but I mean it's a primary black, right?
Yeah,
Which
the
one
one
are
with
you talking-
the striping.
Yeah,
You talking about the ones that they've been wearing like previously, like the last?
yeah,
10
within
years?
the last 10
Yeah.
years. Did you like that alternate?
Yeah, well, yeah, because
The alternate?
black was one of the colors. Like,
Are you talking about the 25th anniversary jerseys?
No, these are the ones that they've been wearing. The orange and white like stripes down here, and it's a black
Well,
with
yeah,
the logo in the front.
since-
Well, he said alternate.
since
That's what I
wasn't
was-
It
that
kinda
wasn't it like an alternate?
It was
since
a primary. It was a
It doesn't
blend.
really matter. It's beside the point. Since 2006, black has been one of the Ducks'
Hold on.
primary colors. So,
Well, you're working
If-
on that, Thomas. So I'm going to go into our second stupid question of the day. Who is the most random celebrity you bumped into at a random place, and or who is the most famous contact in your phone, not sports related?
non-sports related.
Non-sports related.
I mean, so I can't use Sam Darnold.
That's a pretty big one, actually. I guess someone that we're not saying that we work with, a hockey player, a baseball player, someone that not someone that we have to have the contact for.
Yeah, I mean, I have Sam Darnold's phone number because he went to high school where I covered games. He's never responded to my text messages before, but
That's fair. And is
I
Jay
have
the
it.
most random celebrity you bumped into?
No. I mean, I met Ryan Getzlaff at an Olive Garden when I was 16. And do you remember Congressman Joe Lieberman?
Vaguely.
I ran into him in an elevator in New York when I was like 11, and my grandfather knew who he was. I was like, okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Jack, anything?
This past year, actually this spring, it was in March. ASU hockey was in playoffs. They were hosting first round against Minnesota Duluth. Game ends. Me and a few other writers are getting in the elevator, go down to the press area to do our post game interviews, and in the elevator walks in Jonathan Toews, and we're like, Jonathan Toews, what are you doing here? And he goes, watching hockey. That was all that was said.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Who's the most
Yeah.
famous
Like-
person in your phone that's not like a work, like someone that you have to have?
I don't think I have any, to be honest.
Yeah.
Taylorblakeward
Oh. So sweet.
probably has the most Twitter followers.
Yikes. That's not where we want to go with that. Thomas Murray, most random bump in with a celebrity and most famous person in your phone.
Bump in with celebrity. I actually have a lot. That's just because I spent my college years working at Disneyland. So I mean, I've ran into Kobe, I ran into LeBron, Michael Strahan. I also grew up skateboarding, so I'd run into like Tony Hawk at the skate park, Christian Asoy, Rodney Mullen. So a lot of really cool people I ran into. Most famous contact in my phone, I don't have outside of sports. I don't have any outside of sports. I mean, you or Rush.
Is it someone that like who would it be?
If-
Who would it be in like?
But in sports related, I actually have Jason Giambi's number. So that's a
good
that's
one.
a pretty good one.
I like
That was
one.
for when I was in college. I did a story on his niece who was attending Cal State Long Beach.
You should have grabbed Paul's number.
Yeah, but I had a lot of PR. That's a little awkward.
Yeah.
That's like, hey man,
It does make it difficult.
give me your number. By
Hey,
the
bro.
way.
I know the Eras Tour 2 is coming through. If you happen to have an extra ticket,
Also going back on the jersey, these ones.
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, the
those
25th
were-
Yeah.
anniversary.
I was
Those were
not thinking
Primary
that.
black.
Those
Those
were
are great.
primary black, but again, the team color at the time was black, and the idea with those jerseys for the 25th anniversary was combining eras, and so you use the mighty logo and the mighty jade and eggplant striping, and then you throw in, I think, the shoulders and the black base, and I think the sticks were orange, I think, on that jersey. So yeah, that I don't mind. Again, if black is one of your team colors, use a black jersey. But if you're, especially again, the Kraken, you have this beautiful, beautiful blue. And even like the only miss they've had jersey wise is when they were forced to make a reverse retro, and it's like, yeah, you've been around for like 2 seasons. What are you reversing to? Other jersey things. The Carolina Hurricanes came out with a new road jersey. It's terrible. And the Ottawa Senators have a red third jersey, which is fine, but boring, but fine.
I'll give you a good non-black jersey. The Avalanche one that like resembles the Colorado state flag. It's like the white one.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sorry.
I like that. I like that
I like
color
those ones.
combo a lot. So
It's unique. So
Yeah, just no more black jerseys. Everyone has one. They're not cool. Like, you know what's cool? Representing your brand with pride and not washing it down with black. Like the Rams put out these rivalry jerseys. All the NFL did these rivalry jerseys, and like 5 of them are just, hey, what if the Miami Dolphins had their regular jerseys but they're black? It's like that.
oh, I do remember those.
Those are bad.
That was a thing a long time ago. Those orange.
no, they
yeah.
they just
did
released
it-
them,
They're
Taylor.
doing it this year. Like
Yeah, but they
have
did
new
it
ones.
like 20 years ago. I remember that.
Yeah, the Rams made a black one. It's bad.
The Rams black one is bad,
Um,
but I do think the Kraken one looks pretty nice personally. But I agree, you can have an ugly black jersey, but you can also have a freaking awesome black jersey.
Fair enough. Bumped into Charlie Sheen and about 15 hookers in the Angel Stadium elevator.
Did not.
That was not fun. That was scary. And the other story about bumping into a celebrity, I kindly asked a couple to move past them while going towards the elevators at Angel Stadium. Jack coming from the home clubhouse, the Angels clubhouse, and going back to the elevator. That hallway there, someone was standing there, and I said, "I'm sorry, could I move past you?" And everyone just, all the writers just staring at me. This is back when we all walked together, and they're just staring at me. I'm like, "Hey guys," I'm like, "Do you know who that was?" I'm like, "I don't know, some player and his girlfriend." It was Justin Verlander and Kate Upton, and everyone claims that I called her a 5-letter bad word, which I did not. I was very nice about it. So screw you, Abby Mastracco and Rod Azarmandi. I did not call her a bad name. And most famous contact on my phone, either Sammy Hagar or Chris McDonald. And I think most people don't know Chris McDonald by his name, so that's fine. But either way, Shooter McGavin.
Oh yeah.
Shooter McGavin.
It's pretty sweet.
Took his daughter to homecoming or winter formal, something like that. He lives up here, so actually both of them do. Sammy does too. Moving on to Angel stuff. Talking about Angels and hookers and other things. Well, shoot, I'll just go into it. I have a very strong opinion on something, extremely strong opinion on something. I know lovely people from the city of Houston. I know horrible people from the city of Houston, but I know lovely people from the city of Houston. They are fantastic people. Houston is the armpit of America. Is the worst city, like, almost in the world. Like, Baghdad, and then, like, Houston. And maybe Newark somewhere in there,
Jesus.
too. No, Houston sucks. It is a horrible place.
Damn.
It is awful.
Weird.
It's hot. It's humid. It's a disgusting city. It's atrocious. On that note, I just want to get that out of there. Just that little part of me, I had to get it out of there. Now,
We are losing the
I don't
Houston
mind the
viewership.
Houston Astros. What's that?
We are losing the Houston viewership.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we were doing so well in that market already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing great with their sports team. How are the Houston Aeros doing? That one probably only flew over a few people's heads.
I know who the Houston Aeros are.
Yeah, right.
Rockets are doing fine.
Yeah, whatever. That's the other.
Texans are.
I don't mind I know it's not Minute Maid Ballpark, but Minute Maid Ballpark, whatever it is.
Enron Field. Yeah.
That one, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Not the Astrodome. I don't mind it. It's fine. But Taylorblakeward face planting into a metal scoreboard in left field is not a good sign for that ballpark. Something's got to be done with that ballpark. I'm all for the hill. I loved the hill in center field. I know it was stupid. I know.
When the hill had the flagpole, it was really bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. But like,
yeah, the
I
hill
get that it was stupid, but it was a fun little unique thing. But they gotta fix the garbage stuff with that park, man. Just garbage. Metal scoreboard in left field at face level. It doesn't matter if it's Taylorblakeward or if it's Jaron Duran or whoever it is. Michael Brantley. I don't care. Whoever's playing left field in Houston. You gotta dump that crap. I don't know. You guys, that was part of our text thread a little bit. What are your thoughts on just what's going on with that Houston ballpark? They got to fix that field, right?
Yeah, they definitely got to add padding to it, or at least the Crawford boxes are so tall they could move the scoreboard up, and have the padding be at face level, and then once you get 15 feet up in the air, then you have the metal scoreboard. I know that probably makes logistical issues in terms of fixing it and repairs and stuff like that, but it's still the people that are there every single day for 162 games that have to play left field, and there's always a chance of that happening. Even look at was it Bryce Harper's rookie year when he went face first into the Dodgers scoreboard or something like that. Stuff like that. It's just like I don't know. I feel like
that was fixed quickly.
Yeah, and I feel like there's better places to place an out of town scoreboard in a ballpark than at body level in the outfield.
Even like Angels right field if you body up against it, it's pretty hard. But there's no metal. There's nothing that's going to physically alter you. Yeah, maybe the wall. Gustavo Campero might have a comment on that, but that's that's at a lot of ballparks on the lower tier. It's just doesn't seem right that Houston's already got enough baggage as it is. I'm not talking about the city. City's awful, but the Houston Astros have enough baggage as it is. Zach, I know, I see it. This seems like something that's such an easy fix to not have to deal with.
I give my 2 cents on that. I'm honestly surprised that this is the first time we've seen someone actually get this serious of an injury from that outfield wall. Metal scoreboard and all that fun stuff. I didn't play baseball growing up, but I do think it's a little surprising. I feel like that's such a hard spot to play. And Jack, you could probably chime in on this too, just because right where it ends, there's a whole other extension back there. And I'm like, that's gotta not be easy to play in left field, right? Most of the time, baseball ballparks are a little bit, funky. They little shifts here and there, right? But at least it's for the most part cohesive. Look at Fenway. I think they do it right. They have a giant wall of scoreboard back there in left field. And yeah, I'm just a little shocked. I'm like, wow, this is the first time that's happened. And also, why are you playing your games like this? Why does this exist the way it does? It really doesn't make sense to me personally.
Yeah, just my thoughts on ballparks like that. So I don't have a problem with that. What do you want to call it? I think it has a official term neoclassical revolution.
The extension and then the corner cut.
All the ballparks that were built after Camden Yards, right? You start with I think whatever New Comiskey is called now, and I think that was the last one of the old. And then Camden Yards started. Everyone's like, oh yeah, baseball field used to be fun, so let's do some quirky stuff. The Padres have the warehouse, and Houston took that to the absurd degree with both the hill in center field and this thing in left. I don't have a problem with a retro aesthetic to a ballpark. I think it can be very neighborhoody and fun, and even you try to make everything look like Fenway Park. It has its charm. That's cool. But things like Fenway Park or the old Polo Grounds or whatever you want to choose, even old Yankee Stadium to some degree, all those things were naturally part of the outline of the footprint of the stadium. The outfield looked weird because it had to, or the ballpark wouldn't fit on the land that it was on. So when you have these ballparks that were built in the last 30, 40 years that, hey, we're going to make a weird jut out of left field for no reason. We just want to be quirky. Like it's artificial and it's stupid. Like like Thomas said, I'm surprised that this hasn't been a problem earlier. You know, it maybe wasn't as forefront as the hill was because it was literally dead center of your screen whenever you're, watching. But why it has no reason to exist. So just take it out, make it safe for the guys to play the field. And they don't have to cautiously know, like, hell, am I going to like dive head first into a metal pole, or am I going to be able to play my position properly? Or even just like if the ball's rolling out there and it hits a corner and bounces 75 degrees the other direction, that's not like, it's funny in a moment, but it's not fun for everyone to play the game in a competitive setting like it is.
Only if you're adjusted to it. You're playing 81 games there.
Yeah.
It might, because you're going to figure out the factors yourself. You're going to see how things. The Green Monster, but you mentioned it, built into the facility already because that's how it fits. I mean, like
if they had like a clear plot of land and remade Fenway Park today and said, hey, we're going to put a 80-foot wall in left field, everyone would be like, what are you doing? That's so dumb.
No,
but,
but I mean, like, Angel Stadium needs its upgrades, no doubt about that.
I hate the right field thing.
That's
like,
fine.
The stripe being halfway up the wall, I hate it.
That's fine.
I'm talking about the rocks. Is it not a home run? Just like, no,
because
the rocks are decoration. They're in the background.
But there's a reason for it. Is the big A in the parking lot used to be in the stadium right there, and that's what. And then when that tilted, 91 earthquake? That's an 88 earthquake. I can't remember whichever earthquake it was that actually busted that thing and toppled it over. You got to put something there, and so I actually don't mind little unique things like the rocks, because the rocks are very unique. Would have looked a lot better in Colorado. The rocks. I'm a sports writer. Yay. I get it though. I agree. You have to continually update things to make it. This is what did Joe Adele say? This is Major League Baseball. You can't have stupid little things like this at the level that we're playing at. These are the best athletes in the world, and need to be playing on the best turf. I mean, like I loved the Oakland Coliseum. It was very nostalgic to me. It's just not a big league park, and it's not an NFL stadium either. That's why the Raiders are in Vegas, and the Athletics are not going to be in Vegas until like 2035. But the same point is that you had to get out of that stadium or completely update it. With Houston, you got to completely update it,
or at least fix left field. It's a simple thing.
Very simple. I loved the Hill, but I totally get rid of it.
The Hill. Oh my god! So I used to think the Hill was funny, and then I played my travel ball team when I was in high school. Sometimes practice at Foothill High School in, I think is that Anaheim? Tustin.
Yep.
And they have a hill in right field. And after playing there, I was like, how the hell did a Major League Baseball team have a hill in center field? That is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. I absolutely despise the hill.
San Clemente High down here. It has a combination of Fenway Park and Houston, where because it's right up against the football bleachers, the left field wall is incredibly high, and there's a hill that goes up to the field. So like halfway into left field, the elevation changes, and then there's a wall, and yet somehow that's where the most home runs are hit in the stadium, which is kind of funny.
Moving on. Quick little hit on Houston. Anthony Rendon update.
My opinion on Houston, it is very sweaty. The freeways are bad. The airport's on the wrong side of town, and the public transit doesn't work. But very good barbecue. Corkscrew Barbecue, Spring, Texas.
So we found the one positive about Houston, Texas. Oh, they have hurricanes too. That place sucks, dude. Houston sucks.
I'll chime in on the positive. Good like Vietnamese style Cajun food.
So the three of us have been to Houston. Jack, have you ever been to Houston? Don't. It sucks.
Taylor, I haven't been to Houston. I've only seen stuff on TikTok.
How do you know about TikTok?
TikTok.
Oh, God. Oh,
TikTok University, baby.
I love TikTok.
Yeah.
Come on, Unk.
Anthony Rendon update, because we are talking about Houston. Good Houston. I like Anthony. Been good to me. Houston resident. he checks in with the team on occasion. He sends a text every now and then. To my knowledge, he did not meet with the team while they were in Texas. So, Angels stuff, just our last little segment here. The Angels are utilizing some youthful players, guys that some obvious prospects, some not obvious prospects. It's not the white flag like it was last year, where you had Eric Wagaman and Gustavo Campero. Even though they've actually Eric and Gustavo have turned into pretty good ball players here, but you're not really white flagging the season, but you're giving guys opportunities. Mitch Ferris is one of those players. Caden Dana has come up and made a start and probably will. Seeing these young guys not only come up and perform, but the Angels are at least holding ground. I'm not competing for a playoff spot, not competing under any circumstances, but holding ground on what, Jack, you and I called the 75-win pace. That's what we want to. That's what you want to see from this team. Holding pace with it while utilizing guys that are getting opportunities. Maybe more on the way. I'm not so sure about that one, but you've got the Matt Lugas of the world and the Mitch Ferrises of the world. Seeing what the Angels are doing, and I'm going to hit on something real hard at the end of this that I think is just kind of outright dumb to a degree when it comes to this stuff. But seeing Mitch Ferris, Caden Dana, Matt Lugo, et cetera, I think it's a positive for moving towards 2026. Thomas, your thoughts, then we'll go to Jack, then we'll go to Zach.
By all means, it's encouraging for sure. You can't take that away from it. But, I mean, the reason why these guys are up in the first place right now, because like you said, it's not, okay, we're waving the white flag like they were September last year. And, man, you want to talk about dog days? Those are some dog days. I'll never forget being at a midday matinee between the Angels and White Sox last year. And it went into like 13 innings or so because both teams couldn't get a run in. And it was like a 2-score, 3-score ball game. But, I mean, the reason why, you're seeing a lot of just these young guys up is just, hey, injuries finally kind of piled up as good as the rotation had been all year. And as consistent as they were, Jack Kohanowicz finally lost all his confidence, and he's working on some things in the minors right now. And then Tyler Anderson's out with an injury. It's just the one thing that you could kind of take away from this season is that the Angels really didn't have a lot of major injuries for once, which is a great sign moving forward. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen that. And then just also, it's the lack of depth within their own organization, their own team. And you're seeing some young guys have to come in, some guys that the casual fan might not know who Mitch Ferris is, like, just being honest. You probably have heard of Caden Dana, but solid outing by both of them. This week against the Royals, solid outings by both of them. Helped lead the Angels to victories, I believe, in both games, and just encouraging stuff. And while they're not actually out of it, while they're actually not out of it yet, and none of the players will probably tell you that they're out of it. You can be realistic with yourself and be like, okay, this team's probably not making the playoffs at this point. And that's okay, though. But I think getting a few guys some reps in, taking a look at what you have for next season and moving forward with it is the best move possible right now.
As I'm pulling this up, Angels currently 7 games back of a wild card spot with 22 games left in the season, I believe. Mathematically, and every guy's going to give you a political answer. Oh, we're still in the hunt. We're still going for it. We're going to play hard. Of course they are, right? That's what you're supposed to do. It's your job to play baseball. That's a good thing. But, the Angels are not making the playoffs this year. It's minus a miracle here. I think you mentioned it, is having guys come up and just progress in a good style. And you mentioned the injuries. Jorge Soler is maybe the only one that's missed significant time. Yohan Moncada's missed some time. Mike Trout hasn't been in the field. And then, Hunter Strickland was a midseason signing that got hurt. Some guys, minimal arm damage is a big thing, I would say. So, Jack, thoughts on the young kids coming up and doing what they're doing?
Yeah, obviously, you want to see the young guys play well, especially down the stretch when they get the opportunity to, once they kind of once the Angels kind of lose out on the wild card race, because that gives them something to play for, just to look at, see how the future might look. But again, it's one start through the rotation, or it's one work through the rotation and stuff like that. We need a larger sample to really see if there's anything that's like really attainable to count on for the next year. But I will say it's a great thing for Caden Dana and his confidence, because like it feels like every time he came up, he struggled and he wasn't put into right situations, coming in relief when obviously he's a starter. So he hasn't really been handled properly, per se. For him to come up and get a start and to go, was it one earned run in 5 innings, whatever he did? Yeah, one earned run in 5 innings. I'm sure that's going to be great for his confidence moving forward to show him that, like, I can succeed in this league. He has it in him. So that's going to be probably the biggest takeaway from me from this so far. But like I said, we need to see more of this. I'm curious to see how this ends up playing out the rest of the month.
Yeah. Zach, I know hockey. I know you're in hockey mode, so I understand if you don't have a strong thought process on this. But, Mitch Ferris, 24-year-old rookie making his debut, kind of just acquired in a trade on a guy that was DFA'd. So kind of a throw-in, right? Kind of a throw-in guy. He was a prospect to a degree. I know the guy that does the Baseball America Top 30 prospects reasonably well. And Mitch Ferris at least got some attention on that list. He would have been number 31 on the June update. And that's what I filed. And that's what I think, quality pitcher, but not a prospect. So having a guy that is not someone that you see as a strong asset for the future, a permanent asset for the future. You're adding him to the 40-man. You're giving him the opportunity. He's Rule 5 eligible this year, I believe. I'm trying to think of it in hockey terms. We don't need to go hockey terms. You understand the baseball terms. But this seems like a positive mark that you have the space to give this kind of guy an opportunity.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a two-way street here. As Thomas sort of mentioned, that if the team was better, these guys wouldn't be playing. Like, if the team was in contention, these guys wouldn't be coming up. But if you're going to be out, you want to see what these guys have. And if they can come in and they can still hit that 75 win benchmark with a slightly lesser, not slightly lesser, but you can see these prospects in and they do enough to maintain that. That's a win that you take with you into the offseason for sure. I know you're going to hit on Christian Moore in a minute, and I think that's maybe the negative thing to touch on with all of this. But if you're going to be at this point and come on, you're not winning your final 20 games and storming into the playoffs, see what you got. And if they perform, awesome. You can take that into spring training and build off that. And even if you don't want these guys to be around long-term, or you don't see them as a full-time thing in your long-term plan, you get pump up their value a little bit if they're worth something, and then you can use them for some sort of move in the wintertime. I think, to help you with your transition a little bit, Taylor, I think the thing that's maybe most disappointing about this part of the season now is that we're getting to the downside of what we talked about in, May, June, when Christian Moore was called up the first time, that the Angels ended up sending him down and that he's not going to be playing in these games because what is he going to get down at AAA that you don't like? He was really good while he was up. Yes, he has his rookie struggles, but who doesn't? And you got to you want to see him perform at the major league level at this point of the year, and he's going to be a major league guy going forward, and now you send him down. And I don't, as I think you mentioned in our text, it's a lot of baseball politics, a lot of whatever, but this really kind of sucks from an outside perspective.
There's just more to it. It's you brought him up and you didn't play him, right? You didn't play him to the everyday, what you should have been doing. And you're saying that you want to give him everyday reps, but you're not doing it. So you should have sent him down when he and I mentioned it when he first got called up, is you can't send your future back down. You can, but you shouldn't. That's part of the baseball politics. The other part of the baseball politics is to retain prospect and rookie status. Baseball America is the only one that doesn't do this, but 45 days on the active roster removes you from rookie and prospect status. If you are a top 100 prospect on ESPN, MLB Pipeline, or Baseball America, if you're on 2 of the 3 lists as a top 100 prospect, you are prospect incentive eligible, or prospect promotion incentive eligible. That means if you win Rookie of the Year, your team gets an extra draft pick, or there's incentives on top of it. They set Christian Moore down at the 49-day marker. So why are you not sending him down 5 days earlier? Send him down. You can hit day 45 and still be eligible. I sent a text to Jonathan Mayo, MLB Pipeline. I said, hey, do you have Christian at 45 days? He said 46. And I'm like, so he's off your list, like today. So he's not going to be a top 100 prospect this winter. He won't be because he's not eligible for Pipeline. He is eligible for Baseball America, but that's only one list. And ESPN goes by the same 45-day standard. So Christian, you wasted a top 100 prospect on PPI potential. And yeah, he might not win Rookie of the Year next year. He might not, but you still had the chance. You know who else could win Rookie of the Year and might be a top 100 prospect on multiple outlets? Caden Dana. Now, you have to send him down before the 25th of September because if he's on the active roster past the 25th, he's not a prospect. He's not a prospect for Pipeline. It doesn't matter what he's not a prospect for Pipeline or ESPN. So, and if you bring up Ryan Johnson for one day and he's a top 100 prospect, it doesn't matter. One day he's off that list. So, and it just seems like such simplistic. Don't do this. Send Christian down 4 days ahead, 5 days ahead. If you're not going to play him, send him down. But do it at the right time. This was the worst possible timing to send Christian down. It was horrible. If they call up Ryan Johnson, it's a mistake. He is MLB Pipeline has put him on the top 100 prospects. I don't think Baseball America will, just based on what I know from them. That doesn't mean ESPN won't, right? ESPN might. You just need 2 of the 3. You don't need all 3. You need 2 of the 3 to be a top 100 prospect, and you're PPI eligible, prospect eligible. So I just don't get it. And the same thing happened. Zach Neto got called up the week of him being prospect promotion incentive eligible after the deadline. It was within the week, but after the deadline. So he was not PPI eligible. Like, these are simple little things. And I get that you're taking a shot, but these are shots worth taking. These are absolutely chances worth taking. Christian Moore could win Rookie of the Year next year. Caden Dana could win Rookie of the Year next year. Ryan Johnson could. They probably won't, but they could. And I'm taking those chances. And what's the difference between 5 days? Unless it's not a year of control, Zach Neto might have been the year of control. That might have been the only thing with Zach Neto was the extra year of control, which is more important. But it's just little things like that where it's like, man, do something.
Is this just about the lists? Like, it keeps talking about Rookie of the Year. Is he still eligible for Rookie of the Year next year? Like, what's the cutoff for?
No.
Okay.
But if he would have gotten sent down 4 or 5 days ago, he would have been.
So the cutoff for Rookie of the Year is
45 days. You can have 45 days, exact 45. You cannot go to 46.
Okay, yeah,
and that's MLB standard. That's the rules set by MLB.
In the NHL, it's a games thing. It's 25 games.
Well, and that's what it's either 45 days, 130 at bats, or 50 innings pitched.
Right.
And Pipeline goes, or Baseball America goes by the at bats and innings pitched, not the days. They're the only ones that I don't know why we do that. I genuinely don't know why we do that. But yeah, I see we lost Thomas. I don't know if you guys want to check. I don't see anything on the text chat here. I'm gonna send him a message. I guess we'll send him a message just to make sure he's okay. But anything, I mean, like, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I just think it's so simple to just not do what you're doing. But they did this with these prospects.
It's careless, right? Like, assuming that, like, is this the most important thing in the world? No, like, it's not. But in terms of, like, just doing right by the player, like, you've taken these things away from him, this prestige that he's not going to be on these lists. He's not going to be eligible for Rookie of the Year. Like, you know, it just seems kind of just like I said, a careless thing of, oh, and I'm sure if somebody asked Perry about it, they'd be like, oh, we weren't even thinking about that. And it's like, well, that's not doing right by anybody.
It's important to be thinking about it. Like you said, careless.
Yeah.
And it's good for the team. That's the problem, is it's not just good for Christian, right? It's not just good for the player. It's good because Christian needed to be playing every day. It's good for development that they set him down. Horrible baseball politics and horrible baseball business. You didn't send him down 5 days earlier. Jack, thoughts?
Yeah, I think you've outlined this situation pretty well. I think the only thing that it makes me think of is the Angels kind of think of what's going to help them today, not necessarily how is this going to impact in the future, the immediate future, down the line, however many, whatever. They just don't really think about the future, I feel like. Going back to what I was talking about with, Caden Dana, Sam Aldegari coming up in relief spots just because they needed innings that day. Two of your top pitching prospects just getting called up just because you need a few innings. It doesn't seem like good practice. I just get the sense that the Angels don't think about how this impacts the future. They only think about how does this impact today.
And if the Angels were 2 games from a wild card spot and this was the difference, absolutely. That's a different story in itself, right?
And if they had a better track record of developing players.
Well, and I mean, I know that Christian wasn't great as a big leaguer so far. He hasn't been outstanding, but neither was Kevin Newman this year. Oswaldo Peraza has obviously hit well during the Kansas series, but Christian was hitting better than Oswaldo Peraza was. I know that Christian's limited to second base, but Luis Rengifo obviously is a better player at this point, at this very moment, today, right? So playing Luis Rengifo above Christian Moore when you're trying to win is a smart baseball move. But if you're trying to get him everyday reps, Christian is a better hit. He's going to give you a better chance than Oswaldo Peraza and a better chance than Kevin Newman was giving you when he was on the roster. So, Thomas, any thoughts on? I know we're limiting this a little bit to Christian, but adding Caden into this. Jack, you brought up Sam Aldegari. I think Sam Blum. We mentioned Sam Blum back-to-back podcast here, but I think he wrote a good article on it. Is bringing these guys, and a lot of people were upset about that article. I wasn't. I think it's absolutely right. You can't be bringing up what is the future of your organization and using them in pickup scrap scenarios. So I don't know, Thomas. Any thoughts on what the Angels are doing with their prospects here?
Yeah. Sorry if I repeat anything. My internet went out, and I don't know what you guys might have said before I hopped back in. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Taylor, you and I talked about it in the last, the episode where Christian Moore came up, and you and I had different points on it. You were more against it. I was more for it. And you were primarily against it just because, well, if you send him down, it's going to ruin his confidence, which I told you, yeah, I'm fine with it if they send him down, but at least you're getting a look. But I really think you fumbled the bag by dropping him at day 49. I mean, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know why they don't really ever make sense. What the Angels ever make sense. I think the impression was you call up Christian Moore, he's playing every day. That's why you bring him up. Otherwise, why do you take him out of AAA where he is playing every day and he's crushing the ball? He's doing his thing. He's playing great. Just for him to write on your bench, sure, it's valuable to be in the locker room, be on the bench around guys, and understand how they prep for games, understand their thought process, how do they make adjustments and stuff like that. But if you're gonna do this, let the kid play. It's pretty simple as that. Like you mentioned too before when I hopped in, I heard you talking about Kevin Newman. You know what? If you're going to be playing Kevin Newman, why aren't you playing Christian Moore? And I know they're different positions, right? Newman was bouncing around between shortstop and third, filling in for Zach Neto as needed, and kind of splitting time with Rengifo out there at third while Moncada was out this year. But screw it. I would have rather seen them get rid of Kevin Newman at that point. Put Rengifo as your everyday third baseman. I know his glove isn't as good at third base as it is second, but you have to put the prospect first at that point. And yeah, it's just a lot of mishandled use of these guys thinking about, well, let's win for today. How about let's win for tomorrow? Look at what you have and just focus on developing. Think about the bigger picture than right now, because even if the Angels were any good this year, they weren't like a World Series caliber team. You know what I mean? Maybe could have snuck in the wild card. So just really shows expectations and reality.
It's kind of something that we talked about a couple weeks ago when we were at the trade deadline. It's just, what is your vision right now? Like, are you as Jack said, you're so concerned on today. You're so concerned on competing for the wild card, and competing this year, and competing. And everything you do doesn't back that. Like, one, you don't achieve those goals because what you're doing doesn't really back that up. And by doing that, you're not being realistic, as Thomas said, about where you are and what you're trying to do.
Now, there's two things.
Look
Quick
forward,
thing on that
you know,
is who has a control over what situation, right? The trade deadline, we don't know. That could have been Artie's direction, right? And you don't have any control over that. This is something you have direct control over. And maybe what would have won you more games? Having Christian at second every day or maneuvering Kevin Newman around over the roster at the time? We don't know, right? That's up for debate. But would Christian have won you more games by playing more consistently? And then secondly, why are you wasting the opportunity of Thomas? You mentioned it, giving this kid an opportunity, right? Squandering that opportunity by ruining his rookie status. That's something you have control over that you wasted. You blew that opportunity. So, closing thoughts, guys. Angels home tonight. Ducks night, Anaheim Ducks night, and surprisingly, none of the four of us will be there. Fredo Cervantes is our Dodgers writer is gonna have coverage on the Angels tonight. Jack Hazlitt on Sunday, Sabrina McLean on Saturday. Thomas, you've got early next week. You got the Twin Series, I think, the bulk of it. So, any closing thoughts on Angel stuff?
Do you know who's doing the opening pitch for Ducks night? I haven't seen anything.
I'd have to take a look. I got 4 emails during the span, and 2 were from the Angels and 2 were from the Ducks.
Okay,
I'll send you a text here. You're good for the season. So you got a photographer for the season too.
Year 2. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, year 2, baby. Anything last ditch Angels thoughts before we go into closing thoughts, guys?
Sure. Just one more thing. The only time we're talking about how we're handling these guys and where they are in the future and things like that. Last year, as dirty of a move this is, right? Reed Detmers, who is probably ready to be back on the major league roster last year. The Angels, I'm not saying that I know what's actually going on behind scenes, but they brought him up where they basically bought themselves. They brought him back up from the minors last year, where they basically bought themselves another year of service time because they kept him in the minors so long. And so it's like, okay, that's a move that makes
the opposite
sense.
of what that would be the opposite of the Christian Moore move. That's I mean,
but that makes a little
for the
sense.
Player.
Though.
Bad for the
it's
player.
Bad for the player. 100%.
Good baseball politics. This is
and
the Christian Moore thing. Good for the player. Bad baseball politics.
Yeah. So just little thoughts on that. I mean, it made a little sense, I guess, but yeah, I mean, like I said, you screwed Reed Detmers, but I don't know.
My only Angels thought leading into tonight's game is I'm very disappointed by the co-branded merch. You know, the last couple of years, the Ducks Angels crossovers have been pretty good.
Yeah.
This year they decided we're not going to bother trying to make a combo logo anymore. We're just going to put them side by side and slap them on the side of a cooler. So
not as good as the Wings on Katella logo. Compliments of Mr. Thomas Murray. So, Jack, any Angels thoughts?
My Wi-Fi is being dumb, and I was trying to pull up an insanely specific stat. So filibuster for like a couple seconds, and I'll jump back in.
On that note, I'm sure you guys can hear the tree being cut down in my backyard.
I was gonna say, is Kawhi Leonard out there?
Yeah, it's just
wow.
Rough. Oh, I actually understood that
wow.
one. Nice,
that is crazy,
man.
Got him.
That is
Referencing
crazy.
Steve Ballmer and Jack's Mannequin in the same episode. Lovely. Jack,
Yeah,
how are we are we filibustering well enough?
Here we go. Got it. All right.
Got it.
So, Joe Adell, 30 home runs now. His OPS sits right at 800 flat, I believe, right now. Where'd it go? Yep, 800 flat. Taylor Ward also has 30 home runs, and he's got a 791 OPS. They would be the 5th and 6th players in Angels history to have 30 or more home runs in a season with a sub 800 OPS if Joe Adell teeters below the 800 OPS line. The only other instances, Cole Calhoun, 33 home runs with a 792 OPS in 2019. Albert Pujols, the two-time champ, 31 homers in 2016 with a 780 OPS, and then the year before he hit 40 home runs with a 787 OPS in 2015. Mark Trumbo, the first to do it, 34 homers, 747 OPS in 2013. And another funny note about Pujols, 40 home runs with a sub 800 OPS. He's only the second person in MLB history to do that. Well, he was the first to do it, but there's only been two instances in MLB history. Pujols in 2015, and then Todd Frazier in 2016, the very next year. So it's never happened twice in a year for the Angels, and they might be able to see two guys in Taylor Ward and Joe Adell. Three? Who you got three?
Look at Zach's OPS, and he's sitting at 25.
Yeah.
So Zach's sitting at an 817 OPS?
Less. It's like 802.
Yeah.
It's 802, but he's got 25 homers. When I was doing the math the other day, he's on pace for 28 homers, so he's borderline, but Taylor Ward and Joe Adell, be on the look. Be on the look.
All right, so we're hour and a half into this. If you've stuck around, thank you for sticking around. We're going to go into our silly little end of episode stuff. So for Zach and Jack, I've got things, and for Thomas, I've got something totally different. So, Zach, what is your current Instagram algorithm? Like, what are the primary things on there?
Oh, right now it's a lot of football stuff coming in. Obviously, the season. A lot of fitness stuff, as you might have seen that I've been on Instagram.
Yeah.
I've been working out now for the last month and a half, losing a good chunk of weight.
You look
here.
great, man.
I got on the scale this morning and I was officially 20 pounds down. So
attaboy.
I'm happy about that.
Where's our Thomas? Throw the applause on there. That's an applause-worthy one.
I got you.
Congratulations, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, and the other stuff would be there we go. There we go. Let me pull it up right now. It's been a lot of cats, you know? This guy I follow has been like bike riding from Portugal to Japan, and he's stuck in Afghanistan, so that's been fun. Travel. Oh, and K-pop Demon Hunters. Just a ton of K-pop Demon Hunters.
That's
which
fair.
Slaps. It's incredible. Take your time. Watch it. Maybe not for you, Taylor, but the general audience,
okay.
if you have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters.
Jack,
Are you singing Soda Pop now?
Soda Pop gets stuck in my head. I'm a big This Is What It Sounds Like guy, and Your Idol, the closers. Pretty good.
Jack, what's your Instagram algorithm right now?
I just opened Instagram to check because I don't really use Instagram that much anymore.
TikTok algorithm.
Just looking at my Explore page on Instagram, I'm seeing a lot of baseball, a lot of hockey, and some Surf's Up, the movie.
Ooh.
That was like
Love
one of my
Surf's
favorite
Up.
movies growing up. So
That's a sports movie. You should have thrown that on there.
surfing, yeah, I guess, yeah.
a sports
I didn't
movie.
even think of that. Chicken Joe, baby, what a
Chicken
beauty.
Joe. You see my friend Cody, man?
Cody,
That's cool. She digs you, bro. She called you crap.
I know he's out here. I can feel it in my nuggets.
John Hader, dude. This Napoleon Dynamite is a stoner chicken. It's the greatest decision you could make as a movie. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that was a great studio decision.
dude, I'm from Lake Michigan.
I never knew my dad either.
Yeah.
It's so bad. So bad. I'm looking at mine. Edinburgh, fishing, Zachcav, and mini horses. I'm contemplating investing in a mini horse, aka maybe getting one. So, Thomas Murray. I don't really care about your Instagram algorithms. I care about something else. And Zach, I already talked to you about this.
He's been ready to like launch this at you for days.
Jack, you were unaware of this.
He even called me to warn me about it.
Taylor,
I did.
Taylor is like on a mission to be very mean today.
Oh,
I
God.
did.
Yeah,
Houston
you're
and Thomas
next,
Murray.
Jack.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Jack,
come
I
after
got to
you
think of
next
something
week.
for you. But Jack doesn't do anything.
God forbid Jack moves to Houston. you
Yeah.
know?
Fitness.
All right, Thomas. Mr. Blink 182
good.
fan.
Oh,
That's
God.
good.
What is the greatest of the Blink 182 albums?
Greatest? Greatest is different from my personal favorite, but greatest is the self-titled.
Inaccurate.
Okay.
Okay.
Inaccurate.
What is
All
your
right. Give me your contrarian take.
because
Taylor.
I agree with Thomas, so I'm curious.
It's not contrarian. It's the accurate depiction of what is the best album. It is Dude Ranch.
I mean,
okay. Dude Ranch is cool.
I'd
They
have
got a
Dude-
Star Wars song in there.
I'd have Dude Ranch third behind Enema.
I love Dude Ranch.
Yeah.
Like Thomas, you're out here listening to songs about fornicating with dogs and like just penis jokes.
That's the wrong album. That's the Take Off Your Pants album.
That's right.
What's
It's not South Park. Finger Bang. See, they already had a song about that called Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the Matt Skiba days.
Yeah. All right. What's their best album from the last?
You know
20
what?
years.
I'll
20 years.
say this. Dude Ranch has Voyeur, which is a song about stalking a girl and watching her change. So maybe you're the one that's
Jay
listening to the
Woodcroft
creepy
inspired.
songs.
Jay Woodcroft inspired. Chipotle order, man.
What are we talking about?
It's all about the Chipotle order.
What happened?
Best album of the last 20 years.
Best Blink album?
Yes. Because none of the albums we mentioned are 20 years. Within
Okay.
the,
Well, the
over
self-titled album is 20 years now.
2003.
Let me see. I'm on
Yeah,
there.
it was 2021, 22 years. Yeah.
Okay.
your options
Other
are-
than that, I'll just go with One More Time.
Yeah. One more time, probably.
Not a fan.
It's probably some of the best stuff they've
Well,
ever
Taylor,
written.
your only options for the last 20 years are Neighborhoods, California, 9, and One More Time.
Yeah, it's
One More
like,
Time would
Like
be number-
Neighborhood's a good album.
I would say
but-
One More Time would be number 3 on that list for sure.
No.
Oh yeah. Neighbors and
Okay.
then California. Neighbors is good.
playing
dude.
the trying to be the dark
I
horse.
I
in
like
here.
Neighborhoods. I have my soft spots for some of it, but
California was good.
California's good. I think the Matt Skiba years get a lot of
They get a lot of
for no
hate.
reason, but
Yeah.
well, not for no reason. People are loyal to Tom, which I get. But
On
I
that
love Matt
note,
Skiba. Alkaline Trio is awesome.
Let's see. Blah 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 blah. My notes. Got that. I watched
Taylor,
the
what's your favorite Blake or Jack's Mannequin album? How about that?
the one with Venice on the cover. Is it
I don't know the album names. I'm
is it
just testing
MFEO?
you.
I think it's MFEO. Made
Sure.
for each other. I think it's that
You,
one.
you know what, Taylor? I'm gonna come after you with a little inspiration from Jack Janes in the group chat last week. When are you getting an iPhone?
Never. Why would I bother? Why would I bother? It's called Everything in
So
Transit, by the way.
our texts can be blue.
No, it's not even that their text can be blue. For the people at home, we started a group chat for this podcast.
There's like
and
4.
I think, well, we started one, and you,
Yeah, I don't
Mr.
know.
Android, every week or two, it explodes into 3 different ones.
Yeah.
So
why?
it's the Android problem.
Oh, too damn bad.
Wow. Wow, here we are.
The album is called Everything in Transit. Best Jack's Mannequin album. Everything in Transit.
Great.
Really good. Speaking
Listen
of
to
good
that
albums,
on your Apple Music.
I don't have Apple Music. I have Spotify.
I know you don't. I'm talking to the people, not you.
Oh, I love it. Speaking of great
we're
albums,
here for the people.
Great albums. Ain't In It For My Health. Zachcav. Great album. They came out last week. That is a big part of the weekend plans. So weekend plans. Jack Janes, we haven't heard from you. You've been the smart, wise one that has gone into the corner and while mommy and daddy are fighting, you went into the corner. It's a smart move.
Sometimes the smartest thing you can say is nothing.
Yeah. So what do you got going on this weekend, man?
A lot of sitting around watching baseball and probably some football to some degree. Oh crap! The Chargers play today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Brazil.
In Brazil. Yeah. So I guess I'm watching the Chargers game tonight.
Our boss is there.
What's up, Jack?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, boss man.
there is.
Pays the checks. Signs the
Sure
checks. I don't know if he pays the checks. Signs the checks. Thomas Murray, what are your weekend plans?
Weekend plans. Yeah, well, UCLA's on the road in Vegas. So I think I'm gonna go out to kind of across the street from UCLA. I might head out to the USC game on Saturday. Tickets are cheap, like $20. So might go check that out.
You can thank Sabrina McLean for covering your butt on Angels on that one.
Shout out to Sabrina. She's
Yeah,
the goat.
she's doing great. She's doing great. Zach Kavanaugh, weekend plans, my man.
Yeah. Let's see. What are we doing? Well, tonight we're big Hamilton fans in this house, and they're putting Hamilton in theaters for the 10-year anniversary. So we're gonna go see Hamilton in theaters. Family engagement tomorrow, and then Sunday is the first NFL Sunday of the season. So I'm popping my butt down on the couch and watching nothing but football, turning on the Rams in the afternoon, and doing a lot of prep work for next week as my off season is shortly coming to a close, and I do have some plans for some stuff that we're going to put out next week. So look to your various Sporting Tribune spaces for the start of a new season, a new era in Ducks hockey coverage here on Sporting Tribune.
We're excited, man. Very, very excited to see what Zach is going to do.
I mean, everyone can see that I have a background now, so I'm.
Yeah, dude, I got to throw my book in there, man. We got to get my
No,
book in the
we're-
back with you.
We're doing stuff. I'll share once we're done what I'm doing. But
Like you said, Jeff Passan, right? So,
Yeah, Jeff Passan-esque.
Yeah.
I literally looked up what does Jeff Passan's background look like so I could get like inspiration.
Very similar.
I don't have an Adam Schefter bookshelf.
What are you doing this weekend, Taylor?
We're going to go see Jackson Dean tonight, and then I'm going to the desert and going to enjoy some. I'm going to meet you halfway, Jack. Meet you about halfway.
Blythe?
What's that?
Blythe?
Maybe a third of the way. Maybe like
Okay.
a third of the way. I'm going to go like Indio.
Okay, yeah, that's
That's
a third.
Third of the way. 2/3 your way.
A scenic weekend in Blythe sounds.
Yeah.
wonderful.
Scenic, no, it's not going to be a scenic weekend. It is going to be an adult beverage weekend listening to Zach Top. So,
That sounds great.
Stayed overnight in Blythe once.
oh yeah, no.
Mm.
I've
Yeah,
done a
it's-
night in Blythe.
Yeah.
It's a place to be. That's for sure.
I stopped at a Denny's in Blythe and we asked for water and they said, I wouldn't drink this water. So I said, all right.
So the Taco Bell right next to that Denny's is the one I always stop at as like my halfway mark.
Yeah.
Because it's just easy. You pop in, grab your stuff, you eat it in the car, and go.
Between the Loves across, is it a Loves or is it a? No, it's a Loves.
It's
They
like
right
a
at the border.
Flying J.
It's
Yeah.
it's a Flying J. Yeah, the Flying J, and then across is the Denny's and the Yep.
The Flying J is great because you get your gas and then there's a Wendy's attached to it, so you just.
Oh,
do
you
that
now what you're
and-
talking about.
Yeah, no.
And
You get
get
your
on the
little 164 scale 1966 Camaro.
You get your
For $5
much cheaper gas on the other side of the border. Is
Yeah.
more what I'm thinking about.
You go 10 feet.
Yeah.
So,
$2
last thoughts. Last thoughts. Which Angel would make the best hockey player, and which Duck would make the best baseball player? I'm gonna go first. Logan Hoppy.
Oh,
It's
you
kind of a
stole
cop
it.
out.
I know. The Angels literally put out a video 20 minutes ago about who Logan O'Hoppe thinks would be the baseball player or the hockey players on the Angels. Yeah.
There you go. It's Logan. It's Logan. Take what you got.
Logan.
Anybody else? Anything?
Carson Fulmer.
Sure.
Nice. Good call.
So there's quite a few hockey guys in that Angels clubhouse. Fulmer's a hockey guy. Andrew Chafin's a hockey guy. He said he used to play a little bit back in the day. Obviously, oh my gosh, O'Hoppe's a hockey guy. Zach Neto's a big Panthers fan because he's from Florida. Who else? I feel like there's somebody. Oh, Scott Kingery. Scott Kingery, huge hockey guy. It was funny. We were sitting there one day in the clubhouse, and he was sitting at his locker, and me and a couple of the other beat writers in there were talking about the Ducks off season, and he goes, "You cover the Ducks?" I was like, "Yeah, a little bit, with Sporting Tribune, whatever." And he goes, "Think they're signing Marner?"
Wow.
I was like, "No, I don't." But yeah, he apparently because he grew up in Arizona, grew up with season tickets to the Coyotes, so he was a big Coyotes fan. And then when they moved, he didn't want to keep. Yeah. When they moved, he didn't want to keep supporting them. So his dad grew up in Calgary. He was a big Flames fan. So now Scott Kingery's a Flames fan.
Lovely.
So there's your Scott Kingery hockey lore.
There's your inside the locker room insight.
Yeah, that was good stuff, actually. That went a lot deeper than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much time you have to just shoot the shit in baseball.
Oh, yeah. Especially when there's, like, the people you need to talk to just, like, aren't there. And you're like, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't end the podcast on this because Thomas has duties, but too many stinking Eagles fans sitting in that clubhouse. All they do is watch Eagles on Sunday. Ooh, go Eagles, fly Eagles, fly. Let's get out of here, guys. It's time to go.
I'm gonna send Jalen Carter to your house.
God.
On that note,
don't let him drive.
Let's just get the hell out of here. What are we doing?
I thought about making that joke, but I wasn't going to go there.
No. Hot Tua. Let's get out of here. That was awful. End the note. It's over.
Yeah,
go home.
got it.
No.
It's end of the
Got it.
weekend. Cut the show,
Got it.
Thomas. We're
Come
done.
back next week.
We'll see you after the weekend, guys.